Join me as I dive into an alternate history and challenge myself to imagine what America would be like today if it had never gained independence from Britain. Today we're going to explore a world where the American Revolution never happened and the United States remained a British colony. This raises all sorts of fascinating questions about how American history would have unfolded and what the consequences would have been for the people living in that timeline. Let's dive in and see where this thought experiment takes us. One of the most significant implications of a British America would be the loss of identity and autonomy for the American people. Without the Revolution, the colonies would have remained subject to the Crown, with the British monarch holding significant power over their internal affairs. This would have likely led to a very different cultural and political landscape, with American patriots like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson taking a back seat to British officials and aristocrats. In terms of governance, the British would have maintained control over the colonies, with the Crown appointing governors and other officials to manage the territory. This would have led to a more centralized and authoritarian system of government, with limited opportunities for American self-governance or representation. Furthermore, the British would have continued to impose their own laws and institutions on the colonies, which would have restricted American economic and social development. The relationship between Britain and its American colonies would have also been fraught with tension and potential conflict. The British would have sought to maintain their authority over the colonies, while Americans would have resented their lack of autonomy and representation. This could have led to a series of rebellions, protests, and other forms of resistance, which would have shaped the course of American history in profound ways. Additionally, the global balance of power would have been altered significantly, with Britain maintaining its hold over its American territories, and rival powers like France and Spain seeking to challenge its dominance. This could have led to a series of conflicts and wars which would have had far-reaching consequences for the development of America and the world at large. As we explore this alternate history, we start to see how different cultural, economic, and political systems would have emerged. Without the Revolution, American culture would have been shaped more by British traditions and values, with less of an emphasis on individualism and self-reliance. The economy would have been tied closely to the British Empire, with trade and commerce flowing primarily through British channels. And politically, America would have been a very different place, with a monarchical system of government and limited opportunities for democracy or representation. A key figure in this alternate history would have been King George III, who would have played a significant role in shaping the course of American development. The king's policies and decisions would have had a profound impact on the colonies and would have influenced the trajectory of American history in countless ways. Another important figure would have been Prime Minister William Pitt the Elder, who would have played a crucial role in shaping British policy towards the colonies. One significant event that would have occurred in this alternate timeline is the passage of the Stamp Act in 1765. This tax on printed materials would have sparked widespread protests and resistance across the colonies, and would have highlighted the tensions between Britain and its American subjects. The act would have been seen as a symbol of British tyranny, and would have fueled the growth of anti-British sentiment across the colonies. As we explore this alternate history, we start to see how different the world would have been if America had remained a British colony. The consequences would have been far-reaching, with significant implications for American identity, culture, politics, and economy. So what would America be like today if it had never gained independence from Britain? It's clear that the country would have been shaped by a very different set of historical forces, with consequences that would have been felt across the globe. The loss of autonomy and self-governance would have had a profound impact on American development, and would have limited the country's potential for growth and innovation. That's it for today's video. Thanks for joining me on this thought-provoking journey into an alternate history. If you have any thoughts on what America would be like if it had remained a British colony, be sure to share them in the comments below. And if you'd like to explore more historical what-ifs, be sure to check out my other videos on the subject.